Hello, we are live. Welcome to the live tutorial for this watercolor painting that I call ... Bring May Flowers. And you might be wondering, maybe you're just tuning in, why is it called ... Bring May Flowers? Well, it is really part two of the phrase April showers bring May flowers. So about a month ago, we did something similar to this. I'll show it to you here. So this is what we did about a month ago. April showers, ... But today we're going to do the second part of that with our same characters, Pooh and Piglet, and they've got their May flowers. Now, I assume most people don't have, these big of a blooms happening right now in our gardens. I just have small little flowers. The dandelions are out, but not quite these big showy flowers. But we can hope, we can dream, and we can paint whatever we want because this is our world. So we're going to do this one today. If you're interested in the other one and you missed it with the umbrella and the raining, that video is already on our channel, already ready to go. So you could totally do that one even right now and do this one later, or you could do this one first, do the other one second. And wouldn't this particular image make a wonderful Mother's Day card, or even as a gift itself? This painting. Mother's Day is this weekend. Well, at least in Canada, the US, I'm sure, has the same Mother's Day. Different countries have different days for Mother's Day, of course, though. But even if it's not Mother's Day, moms would love this painting as a gift or as a card, I think. I know I would. So if you did, RSVP to this event in advance, you would have gotten a link to the printable, traceable image here. This is my original one that I drew in pen, but print that out, whatever scale you have of paper. So this is like pretty big, and this is a pretty big piece of paper. This is a 11 by 15. But if you're working on a slightly smaller piece of paper, you could, reduce that down to say 80% or so. If you didn't get that email, right down here below in the description of the video, I have put in the link to that printable traceable outline for use anytime. So even if you're watching this 2 or 3 years in the future, I've got the link to that outline right here, so you haven't missed a thing. So print that out. If you haven't already yet traced this onto your watercolor paper, just hit pause on this live stream. You can pause me, and you can even rewind during the live stream, and then just get that traced onto your watercolor paper. I'll show you the brand that I like to use. So this is by Canson XL watercolor paper. Mine's quite big. You could do this on a lovely 9 by 12 would be nice. Make it smaller for a card even. But any brands that you have, any size of watercolor paper will do. Don't worry if you don't have this exact kind. I like this one a lot. It's readily available, and I always say it's like a medium quality for a medium price. Can't go wrong with that. So I have already gone ahead, and I like to take a page out of my pad or notebook, or but you can leave it in the sketchbook, let's say. So I went ahead with my pencil. I don't even know where my pencil went. Where did it go? I had a pencil. And I traced that. I did trace mine like a little bit dark. If I was, just doing this on my own, I would trace that a little bit lighter. But no worries, I can erase some of my pencil lines later on. I just don't want a lot of them to show in the final painting. So, here's my pencil. How silly of me. So what I did to get this image onto this paper is I take a piece of tape and I tape that to the back. Tape it to the back stick it against a bright sunny window, and then trace as the image shines through. Or if you have a tracing pad, a light table at home, you can use that for sure. Maybe you have some kind of a carbon copying paper, that would work. But with the standard, pretty easy method, just up against a window, trace away. So let's put this over here. I don't need that right now. Let me know in the chat maybe where you're from, maybe if there's some kids painting along with you. Let me know maybe how old they are. My name is Chris, and I've been painting with Artist Palette for, I want to say 4 or 5 years. Time is really flying. I want to say 4 years for sure. 4.5. Let's say 4.5. And let me know if maybe you've painted with me before, and what painting did we do together. What else do I have to show you here? I've got all kinds of stuff here. A pen. We need some kind of a pen or a marker to do our outlines there. So I brought some examples. You don't have to have all of these examples. You just need one pen or marker. It does have to be waterproof, because we're going to do the pen first, and then we're going to do the paint after. So that could get smudgy if it's not waterproof. Here is some examples that I often use, and they are waterproof. This is by Le Pen technical drawing pens. There's different sizes you can get. Those are waterproof. Those are great. These are very popular. Lots of people will use these or have seen these, by Sakura Pigma Micron pens. They come in different sizes. There's different sizes you can get. But these, again, waterproof, nice and thin. Great pens by Sakura. People are familiar with the Sharpie brand for like markers like that. They do also do a nice fine tip permanent pen there. That's waterproof. And if you really have like nothing else, a Sharpie would work. Your lines will be a bit bolder, but that might be a look. So there's a Sharpie ultra fine point. I'll probably use one of these today by Faber-Castell. Again, they have different sizes. These are waterproof. I'll probably use one of those because they're among my newest ones. Root around in someone's toolbox. This is a Milwaukee. Can you see that? The Milwaukee logo. It's a tool brand, but they make nice fine tip pens and markers that are waterproof. If you're, out doing something in the rain, you'll need a pen. So those are waterproof. Try one of those. Let me grab just one of these. Let's go with the O. And they have different sizes. I'm going to go with the 0.5 today, but really any size, whatever you have, whatever brand, get that out. Also on the screen, you can see my little watercolor set. I use this one a lot. I got it on Amazon. There we go. Mei Liang is the brand on Amazon. This nice little travel set, and I decorated it a little bit. I love this one because you have a nice variety of colors. You have metallics, and you have this nice mixing area. And it just folds right up and comes with me on planes, trains, and automobiles. I've literally done art on like a literal airplane, a literal train, and in the car. Get yourself one of those. Got a little bit of water. Gotta have water for the watercolor. Really nothing fancy in the paintbrushes. I just kind of grabbed sort of a biggish, mediumish one, and then something a little bit thinner, tinier. It helps when you're doing watercolor to have a pointy tip on the brushes to get into small little areas. These little leaves, these little petals, we need to get right into those little areas. But really, if you just have like one single paintbrush at your disposal, you can do this painting because it's not super duper fancy. We do paint outside of the lines. sort of accidentally on purpose. So even if you have something that's like bigger than this, you could still do this. I believe in you. Let's put that there. What else? I think that's really all I have. I'm going to use the eraser later. So I do want that sort of nearby. We are going to do the pen work first. So again, if you haven't already traced that printable, traceable outline onto your paper, just hit pause, do that step, and then rejoin when you're ready. Now, I've been kind of wiggling this around. I haven't really shown you up close. If you look really close, the lines are not tidy. They're wiggly and messy, and there's double lines, triple lines, lines that are just, you know, nonsensical. So let's look a little closer. Let's look at Pooh. So look around like his ear. Look around the back of his head. Look at his arm. It's not crisp. It's not perfect. Even the, you know, the wood grain, it's not perfect. The flowers, I did go a little bit more tidy on the flower, but not too much. Piglet, kind of wiggly lines. It is a style. It is a choice, and I call it Chris's scribble style. And it's really good for kids. It's really good for maybe if you have a bit of a hand tremor. It works. Somehow it always turns out great. There's really nothing you could do that would, you know, make it unacceptable. You could literally like be drawing along and then literally drop your pen and it makes an accidental scribble, and that's fine. That's fine. We will work with that. Let's put you a little bit over here for a second. Let's get this guy up in here. So here's my pen, the 0.05, 0.5. There are thinner pens that are decimal O and then a number. Super thin. I'm going to start with the Pooh, and I'm going to trace my pencil lines, but let your pen kind of like do what it wants. I guess I should get this pen like actually going. It'll dry in the tip. There we go. So I'm just going to go around all my pencil lines from that outline. But if there's, you know, gaps in the line, that's fine. If you go like off the line completely, not a problem. So I'm going to do like his arms, his body, loosely. In the face, I'm going to do the face like a little bit more tidy for like, say, his eyes, nose, mouth, just so that we still retain that recognizable character. So I'm going to do most of it kind of messy, but the face a little tidier. And I'm going to go around everything like once to start. But then, oh, just you wait. And you do not have to go as fast as I do. I do this a lot, so I have a lot of practice, but that's all it takes is practice, practice, practice. It makes perfect. Okay, so I've got sort of Pooh loosely outlined, except the face. Arms, body, legs. So I've gone around everything like one time. I'm going to go around again, but I'm not going to like perfectly line up my next set of lines. I'm going to go a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right or a little bit just a little off from what I just did. And you don't have to stop at just a double line. It could be a triple line in some places. And if you are struggling to really loosen up, maybe you're used to very precise art making, line making, precision, and neatness, just hold your pen a little further back. So yeah, when you want control and fine tuning, fine lines, hold it like this. But we want to loosen up. Hold it a little further back, kind of wiggle wiggle the wrist, keep it loose. If like your pen kind of gets snagged on the paper as you're kind of going along and it makes like a weird, that's good. We like that. We like that. It's going to give it character. And in this way, no one's drawings are going to be exactly the same, even though we're using an outline that we traced. Everyone's going to be 100% different. So that's sort of like twice around everything. And I mentioned before, like even if kids are doing this, or maybe you have less hand control and you like drop your pen. Oh no, my pen dropped. Look at that. Oh no, it's fine. That's perfectly fine. That's now part of the art. That's part of the process. These weird little, happy accidents that happened. I'm gonna embrace those. I'm gonna do his eyes, nose, mouth, but just a little tiny bit neater on the eyes, nose, and mouth. Just so we really can tell it's the character who we all know and love. Winnie the Pooh. So I did color in his eyes black, and I am going to color in his eyebrows black as well, and the nose. Now, all of these things that I'm coloring in black, they could have been painted with black later on, but I just like a nice, really dark, crisp black on these things, so I just go ahead with the pen. Why not? Go. Some eyes, we got a nose, we got, we're going to do the mouth. Again, I'm going to color in like the black of the mouth. Why not? But we can do the tongue with the paint. This just makes it really, really nice and like jet black. Sometimes with watercolor, it's not like the blackest black you can get it. It's tough. There's his little face. Now, again, it's okay if your lines weren't perfectly on the pencil lines, people will still know it's Winnie the Pooh. There we go. And then just for funsies, you can add extra lines, extra scribbles. So like, just like go wild with some extra scribbly, like look at this. Does it mean anything? No. Just felt like doing it. Okay, camera here. You're letting me down, camera. You're supposed to be in autofocus. You're really letting me down. Okay, focus on this. Oh, getting a nice up-close view of those extra scribbles. Throw a few extra scribbles on yours. Even, so I've got some like little, kind of going off his body. Okay, there you go, camera. I knew you could do it. Like, if you put a few scribbles like outside of his body, it seems like maybe there's motion there, like he's moving. Scribble, maybe like some extra scribbles bottom of the feet, maybe to indicate maybe like shading or darkness, maybe along the belly, maybe along the, what is this, wrist? Could be a wrist. Maybe some extra scribbles in this little corner here, maybe under the chin. There we go. You could even like close your eyes, literally close. I'm not looking, and just throw enough extra scribble on there somewhere, wherever you want. Sure. Lovely. That's how much it doesn't matter that you stay right on the lines. There's Pooh. We're going to do Piglet. We're going to do the wagon. It's going to be fun. Okay, let's do like Piglet in the same manner. I'm going to do one kind of pass, one go around all the lines. Again, I'll do his face like a little bit more crisp, clearer. There we go. So that's sort of like one go around. I'll do like a double line on everything, if not a triple. Such a little guy. Goes by pretty quick because he's such a little cutie here. Okay, that's sort of like a double. I'll do his face like a little neater. Thin little eyebrows, tiny eyebrows. There we go. A couple extra scribbles here and there, maybe near his rear end, might be a little darker. Maybe like bottoms of the feet might be a little bit darker. Under the chin, maybe. A couple of lines maybe outside of him because he is sitting on a wagon. There will be some kind of bumping movement. Maybe drop the pen a little bit. It's on purpose. Whoops. Oops. Didn't mean to. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then look at the two. Are they sort of similar? Does one need a little more scribble than the other? Maybe an extra wrinkle or two. That was pretty good. And take as much time as you like. All right, I'll probably do the wagon next. And I did add, so on the outline there was no wood grain. I did add a bit of a faux wood grain, and I'll walk you through that. But really it's just like flattened spirals, flattened, and some lines. It's not too hard for a little faux wood grain. So we'll start with just sort of outlining what I do have of the wagon, including the string or rope. And my wheels are not round. Not a single one of these is an actual circle. They are misshapen, knobbly. The outline, those were not circles. I don't expect your wheels today to be circles in the least. Yep, that's it. So I got my whole wagon sort of traced once. I'm gonna add just two lines that weren't in the outline. I'm gonna make this rear end of the wagon have a bit of a, so that kind of matches this one. And then I'm also gonna throw a little line in here as if each corner of the wagon has an upright sort of post. There. And then I'll just go around those lines again, like do your twice or thrice around, making each a little wiggly, a little off from the last one. Even that rope he's pulling could be a little ragged, fraying. That's pretty good, like 2 or 3. That's good. And then I have all of my sort of the big panels of my wood with horizontal wood grain. And then I put those posts in the corners sort of upright. So let's work on sort of this bigger area first. So make like, you know how to make a spiral like that. Well, we're going to squash it down so it's like the shape of a leaf. Or like the shape of an eye. Kind of going in. So sort of like that, but smaller. Like a little small cutie. These are like the eyes, the knots in the wood. Pretty small. It could be a little bit rounder. Just a few here and there. So there's like 3. I could even do like a half. Maybe it's coming up. There could be like a half up here. Maybe that's too many. I don't know. And then some loosely horizontal lines. And when you come across a knot, you have to go around it and then keep going. And the lines could be broken. They could be like a line that just doesn't continue all the way. Very loosely, pretty messy. Doesn't fully make sense in some places. Lots of gaps. My pen, I think my pen's starting to run out, so it's kind of like spotty. My pen isn't like smooth. Yeah, so we'll do that on the panel that's like under his feet too. Just like there's not a lot of room here, so really could put like a knot or 2, but then it's mostly just going to be loosely horizontally lines. Don't think about it too much. So that's those 2 sort of horizontal panels. The vertical like poles or posts, you could just turn your page like that, make like 1 knot if any, few lines. Not every piece has to have a knot. Like this one. This one's so small, I'm just going to do some lines on it. So I've done there, here, and right in that tiny little one there. There we go. Same principle on the wheels. I mean, it doesn't, like I did all of it like perfectly horizontal, but that doesn't really make sense because these are wheels, so they'd be turning. And what are the odds that we've captured the exact moment where every single wheel is exactly orientated that way? I'm going to do some like a little on an angle just to challenge myself. I'll do some on an angle. There's not a lot of room on these circular wheels, but you could do like a small little knot. Yeah, so I did sort of a, what was that, 45-degree angle there. Just mix it up, make it slightly different on each. Wheels, and then I really just added as if there was a bit of a tread out here, just some lines running pretty much horizontal on all these sort of tread areas. Might help these wooden silly wheels to have a bit of a grip. Because really, I don't think they would work very well on any kind of rough terrain. So I've just added some bit of a tread on there. Where else? I mean, I could put a line or two on this sort of cross beam, maybe in here. The rope, I mean, the rope I didn't really do anything with. A little extra scribbly. You could give it like sort of a braided look, but I'm just going to do like a little extra scribble. There we go. And still, you could still add like a little extra scribble here and there for maybe like shading if it's a little darker along the bottom or along the bottom of the wheel. But there are quite a lot of lines here, so probably in the interest of clarity, not too many more. That's good. That's pretty cute for a little loose wood grain. That's good. Yeah, so let's just keep on working up here. Honey pots and then flowers. So same things we've been doing. A loose outline of your pencil. Go around twice or thrice. Honey drips. You can make your drips a little different. You can add extra drips. I love the backwards ends in honey. And I can't remember if I ever saw honey spelt the correct way with the ends going the right way. But when I was looking for reference photos for this, they had like honey spelt correct. And I'm like, well, that's not right. I got to do the backwards end. So in the original that I was looking at for this one, it had, you know, regular ends. I'm like, no, backwards. There we go, nice and drippy. You could even add like extra drips coming down, yeah. Or maybe some drips flying out the back. Why not? That's pretty funny. I don't know if honey would ever behave that way. It's too thick. There's my honey pots. Couple extra scribbles. And then the flowers. So it does look like a big kind of jumble. Should be able to pick out, you know, what's flower, what's like leaf. But of course, change it up if you want to do sunflowers, if you want to do lilacs, if you want to do violets, tulips, like literally anything you want, daisies, anything at all. I did sort of outline these a little bit tidier than say over here, but still don't worry about exactly following any of these lines. What else? Irises, poppies, buttercups. Now I'm just rambling different flowers that I know. You could fit something in here, something like to mom, like make a little label or something. If you maybe intend to give this as a gift or as a card, make a little something, or maybe add mom's favorite flower that you know is her favorite flower. Lilies. I'm just kind of doing the flowers mostly first, and then I'll kind of go back and do leaves, or just fill the whole thing with flowers. Ignore the leaves, stuff it full of flowers. Yeah, I think I've gotten most of the flowers. Throwing some straight-ish lines for stems here and there. Leaves poking out. Don't worry about if, things are overlapping and you didn't mean that to happen. That's all right. You can make stuff up. There's kind of like a big kind of empty area here. I'm just going to make up some to put here. A little flower there. It could even be like petals blowing off, leaves blowing off, a little bumblebee buzzing. Maybe he's coming in. Yeah, why don't I do that? Throw in a little something. Bee, ladybug. That's a cute tiny little bee butt. Is he more attracted to the flowers or the honey? Little bee. Should I do like a little loop-de-loop? Nah. Does he need antenna? Nah. Does he need legs? Nah. Simplest bee I can make. Look at him, he's so tiny. Okay, what else? Maybe throw in a few more leaves. Could be, what else? Butterfly? Maybe like a butterfly has landed on his ear or something. What else? Ladybug I mentioned. You could put some kind of a terrain down here, maybe little pebbles or grass blades. You could make it a whole scene. You could throw some tulips, little snowdrops, anything. They could be walking along grass next to like a stream in the background. You could make it a whole scene. Okay, I'm happy with that. I might throw in, I don't think I really need that much. I've got lots of extra scribbles. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I am going to erase any pencil that is still slightly showing. So there are many places where I didn't stay on the pencil line. Many, many places. And yes, we are going to paint it. Yes, most of the pencil will get covered up, but I just like it a little bit tidier, at least in the pencil department. The pen is a little wild mess, but, and I know I'm shaking the camera a lot. Just if you have motion sickness, don't watch me erase this. It's too wiggly. There we go, loose. Get out of here, you. Looking at that. Looking at that. Yeah, I'm going to throw in a bit of extra scribbles here just for funsies, because I'm a little weird. Maybe there's a scribble down here. Yeah, just to show you, like, literally, like, what is that? Doesn't make any sense, but I like it. All right. If you're not at this stage yet, just hit pause. Take your time. Don't rush yourself. And then when you're ready, rejoin us. So what I love about this is it's like we've made our own coloring page, and now we're going to color it in. So I'm going to use watercolor paint, but think about all the different other materials you could use, like maybe you have acrylic paint, or maybe you have alcohol markers, or colored pencils, pencil crayons, pastels, maybe some kind of inks that you've been wanting to try. Anything. Give some kids some crayons and let them go nuts. But we're going to demonstrate with the watercolors. Get some water in here. I'm going to start probably with lighter colors first, say yellows, light pinks. If we right away went into like dark blue, then our water would be very blue. It might, you know, when we want to do the yellows, might turn green. So I'm going to start with light color, yellows, pinks, this sort of Winnie the Pooh tan color. And then don't solely base your paintbrush choice on what I'm using. If your painting is just overall smaller, use a smaller brush. If you're more comfortable with a bigger brush, do that. But just because, you know, I'm going to use the bigger brush maybe a little bit more, it's because it has a nice tiny little tip. And that little tip will help me get even in the smallest little areas. But you do you, use whatever paintbrush you're comfortable with. I'm going to do my bright yellow first. So I've got quite a number of yellows in here, but you can do just a few yellows and then mostly do pink flowers, or skip yellow altogether and do orange and purple only, or leave some of these white if you want them to be like a white lily, let's say, or a white daisy. They don't all have to be filled in. So I've got a couple yellows here. Got my lemon yellow, got my cad yellow. Put a bit of water in each of them. Swirl that up, get it going. And do not worry about staying in the lines. Look at this. This red is on his arm, not red on his face. It's fine. It's a nice bright yellow. I'm gonna do, you know, whatever flower I think wants to be yellow. That you want to be yellow. You're gonna be yellow. Sure. How many do you want yellow? Don't look at mine. Look at yours and decide which ones want to be yellow. I'm literally not staying in the lines at all. I've already gone outside the lines a million times. Up close, yikes. But from a distance, lovely. Beautiful. So there's like, I did like 6 yellow. That looks good to me. I might do my honey that slightly darker yellow. I've got a cad yellow here, cadmium yellow. It's just like a slightly richer, warmer yellow. Throw a bit of that in there. On my drippy, drippy honey drops. Oh, and don't forget if you had any honey flinging out the back, dripping down the side. There we go. So that's, I mean, you might not be able to see on the camera, but they are two different colors of yellow. But even if you just had one color of yellow, that's fine. Lovely. If you wanted some of your other flowers to have yellow middles, you could dot in little bits of yellow, only if you wanted to. Mine don't really have like a distinct color in the middle. They're just like one color. But if, I'll do my little bee. Tiny little guy. Is there anything else you want yellow on your painting? If you wanted to, you could do his shirt yellow if you really felt strongly about a yellow shirt. You know, if you wanted the tires to be yellow, you can do that. This is your world. Go for it. I think I'm good on the yellow. I'm going to get some ochre going. So this is like what I'm going to do for Winnie the Pooh. This color here is a yellow ochre. If you don't own anything like that, you're going to get some of your regular yellow, put some in the lid, get a little brown, mix a little brown with some yellow to make a brownie yellow. He's kind of like a tan bear. So I've got this, and I might put some in the lid anyway. Put some right here in the lid with some water. I might add a little brown to it to make it look a little smudge browner. What brown will I like? A bit of both. And you could try it out on him. And like, if you don't like it, just get like a tissue or get some paper towel. If you don't like the color you have, there you go. Don't want it, it's gone. Get a little yellow in here. Yep, I mean, just any kind of browny yellow. Blend that on there. It's okay if you go outside the lines. Like I could literally just drop my paintbrush anywhere. Oops, not a problem. Go. And this is what's great about watercolor painting is all these pen lines are still very visible, very crisp. Because it's transparent, it's see-through. I could even go like right over his eyes, right over his eyebrows. You could even go right over his tongue. We're going to paint the tongue darker pinky red, so it's okay if it's going to start off kind of a yellowy brown. Not a problem. Get some on the ears. Yeah, look at that. It's already starting to like pop. He's already starting to come to life. Look, I've got some of this on his shirt. A couple places right on his shirt. I've got little, you know, accidentally on purpose little drippy drops. All right. And then if you wanted to, for extra credit, you could shade it like a little bit. So get either a little bit more brown or just make it a little darker, whatever color you have going on. Make it like a smidge darker. Maybe throw in a touch of yellow. No, not yellow. Orange. That's what I meant. And maybe where it would be shaded, just dab in a little of this. Wet in wet. So it's going to move around. It's not going to stay put. So maybe by his feet. underside of his foot would be a little darker. This side of his belly, maybe. Maybe the sun is coming like this way, just like my light is kind of shining in this direction. This left side might be a little darker. This right side, right side right side, you know, maybe right under here might be a little darker. Maybe the right side of this arm. Just dab it in there. Maybe sort of this cheek might be a little darker. Maybe that ear might be a little darker. But it's subtle, so subtle. No one's going to actually notice that you did shading at all. There we go. Cutie. We'll let that dry like a smidge before we add the red shirt. Otherwise, the red would just whoosh all around. I mean, it did in this one kind of get a little there. That's okay. That's all right. Let's do maybe sort of a light pink. We're still trying to stay pretty light pink. I've got this like hot pink right here. Let's throw some of that here. Really water that down. Pink. Or I also have these metallic pinks here if you wanted to snazz up yours with some metallics. This is, I mean, there's a bunch of green on it right now. Get out of here. This might be the pink for me because it's a nice light pink, but I can put some on there. And if I don't like it, here's a tissue. Don't like it, get off. Here's my sort of hot pink. It's got a little bit of brown got in it. Let's see if I like that. That's kind of nice. He's quite light. He's not like a bright pink. He's not like bubblegum. That's nice. Lots of water there. And I don't think the camera is really doing it justice. In front of me, in front of my eyes, it's pinker. Let's see if I can get a little bit more pink in there just to make it look better on the camera. But keep it pretty light, very watery. And I have like gone right over like his eyes, his nose. We are going to darken his nose in a little bit. His little arms. The arms and the legs are light pink. And his body's dark. Is that his body or is that an outfit? I've always wondered. Yeah, head, ears, arms, legs, light, dusty pink. That's cute. Let that dry before we do his body. While I've got pink on the brush, we might as well do some pink flowers wherever you like. Again, don't look at my flowers. Look at your flowers and decide. The yellow, pretty dry. The yellow's dry, so I'm not too worried about having those sort of bleed into each other. But if it happens, that's fine. It'll turn into like an orange. Nice. Do I want more? I mean, I want to leave room for some other colors. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. Couple pink ones. Beautiful. Before we get into the red shirt, blue things, let's do like a brown. Still pretty light brown. You know, there's so many different types of wood out there. You could really choose like any brown that you have, or maybe you just have one brown. You could even alter your brown to have a little more red in it or a little more orange in it, or just brown, just straight up brown. Let's go with maybe this brown, but I'm going to bring it over here and I'm going to add more water to it. Really water it up. And you could give a little test on your wagon. Do you like it? And we're going to add some dark little bits too, but just as a base, nice light brown. And you can still see all of your wood grain through the paint. It's perfect. Get those wheels. Now, we did just paint Piglet's legs, so I'm just going to be careful near his legs. Just don't let the two wet paints touch each other and you're good. Even if there's like a gap, even if you leave a white gap between the pink and the brown. That wheel, even get these kind of ropes or string he's got. Just carefully, my pink. I think it also is affected by, like, I've got like 3 lights on me right now. My paint does dry pretty quick when I'm doing these fast little sections. So my brown and pink is not bleeding together. There's some light brown, and some of my brown kind of puddled sort of near the bottom of the wheels, so it went a little darker, and that's fine. You could even pick it up and tilt your paint, and it's going to move and run. But I want to get some darker brown in here. It could be the same brown you're using, but just like a thicker, and you could just kind of dab it in wherever you think it might be a little darker. Maybe darker on sort of the tread kind of area. At the bottom, or the like little underneath bits. Or just kind of dab it around, because wood sometimes has streaks of different colors throughout. Doesn't have to be in these exact areas I did. Just kind of dab it around where you want. And even as it dries, it kind of does its own thing. There's some like hard lines that formed. I think it just kind of adds to the wood grain kind of look. Just gonna put a little bit more dark in here. Good. Okay, I want that to dry, and I mean, that's almost dry. While we wait just a couple minutes for some things to dry before we move on to their shirts and things, I want to show you some stuff that's upcoming, and maybe like something that you might also enjoy if you've been enjoying this sort of pen and then painting it like as it's a coloring page, really. Let me show you what's coming up for me. Next is, if I can get it. All right, this one is watercolor and a special art supply, fabric paint. And you might not have that like in stock, but I think that this tutorial is worth it to buy to do this one. So this will be one of the paid tutorials. Check out our website. We have all of our free events and our paid tutorials as well. If you enjoy a certain host's art style or hosting style, you should support them by purchasing some of their paid content, because then, you know, of course, we're going to put out more free content, right? It just goes hand in hand. You got to support us, or we might disappear one day. Anyway, this one is fabric paint and watercolor. And I called it Showy Tulips. So this will be a paid tutorial. Tickets on the website. And I walk you through doing this mixed media piece. So I've done mine on a little canvas here, but you could do this on paper as well. And really, you just need, the supplies you already have that you're doing right now, plus fabric paint. Let me show you the kind I use. Got a couple by Tulip brand. It's like a puffy, shiny. This is like a matte black. Either of those works to make that sort of a faux stained glass sort of look. And I think with the watercolor and how you get sort of the variation of lights and darks within the shapes, I think it kind of gives that like a luminous feeling, as if maybe I do have a light source behind this that's kind of making this glow. So this one will be on our website very soon. It's not there yet. It hasn't been added yet, but very soon. Showy tulips. And I've done a number of different sort of mixed media like that. We've done a cat one, seahorse, like a super dog in that sort of same style. And then I also want to show you something that we did semi-recently. This one also will be on our website very soon. Perfect for spring, perfect for kids could do it too. What did I call this one? Spring Gnome Home. So same kind of thing. We do the pen work first, and then we fill it in with watercolors. And this one's pretty special because I walk you through how to draw the whole scene from scratch. So there's no printable outline. I walk you through doing all the steps to do the whole scene so that you can customize your teacup home. It could have square windows. It could have different flowers. It could have, different garden here. This one's great. We're going to have to add that soon to our website. And I've got a whole series of the gnome homes. So right now there's the 4 seasons, spring, summer, autumn, and I did holiday for the 4th one. But yeah, if you're enjoying what we're doing here, you're going to really enjoy that one. That will be under the video tutorials on the website very soon. I think we're dry enough that we could add his shirt. We can add your shirt or body, and we can finish this painting off. Do red for his shirt, but of course, you could change it up. Why does he have to wear red every day? He doesn't. That's a nice red. Do you have several reds to choose from? Do you want more of like a, I don't know, candy apple red, fire truck red? Get that shirt. Again, it's okay if you go outside of the line. It's okay if you maybe miss a little bit and there's a little white gap. That's fine. That's nice. And so sometimes I take away paint. So I'm going to just clean off my brush. And then I just kind of run it along like his collar. I just want to remove a little to make it seem like it's a little lighter. Maybe the sun is shining. Maybe a little on his sleeve. You could take away paint so it looks like a little highlight. But it is watercolor. It has sort of a mind of its own. It starts like filling in the gap I just made. I just kind of remove some, make it a little lighter. You can also get a little bit more, make it a little darker in some areas, some little corners, some little nooks and crannies. That's pretty good. Yeah, look at how he pops right off the page now. Yeah, and everyone's paint will dry differently because it's watercolor. It does what it wants. So like here we have some harsh edges that formed as it dried, and that's fine. Those are all part of watercolor. Those cauliflowers, those blooms. It's good. I'm going to do Piglet. It's kind of like a purpley pink with a little purple in it. So here's my pink from before. Get like a little purple or a little magenta. Certainly darker than what you have on him currently. Let's see what that looks like. And you can put it on there, and if you don't like it, again, don't like it, a little pinker maybe. Maybe that was too purpley. Yeah, oh, that's good. There we go, so a darker body. Now he's looking like himself. And I do want to make his nose just a little bit darker than what it currently is, but not wildly darker. I mean, that's, yeah, see, I've gone too far. I've gone too dark. So I dry off my brush and I suck up some of the paint. Remove some of it. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm going for. Just like slightly darker there. That's looking good. Yeah. And this is gonna, it does seem a little dark, but it's gonna dry light too, lighter. I'm gonna do a few of these flowers with this sort of pinky purple because it's a lovely color. Shame to waste it. Or you could go, this is like a purple. I did some purple ones here. It's like pinky purple. My paintings never turn out exactly the same. I just can't do it. Gotta try different things. How many of these do I want me to go here? Go. Sure, that looks great. What I didn't do was add this little honey sign. If you have any of that Winnie the Pooh brownie tan color, or any kind of a light brownie yellow. There we go. Just a little on that little honey little sign. Let that dry a moment. Good. I'm going to get some more like purple, or you could go blue in the flowers, or more of what you have before if you want more yellow. Let's go with orange. Sure. My brain said orange. That could be orange, sure. Even if you don't have any more flowers left and you want to just like dab around little dabs of a color, you can. Or make some of the leaves a color, because then that would be like a little bud. That's pretty good. And because we've just done little dabs, it's going to dry really quickly. What color do you want to do your honey pot? So could be blue, could be maybe a lovely rich green would look nice. Maybe it's like a clay terracotta pot. So maybe like a reddish brown. And they could be different colors. You don't have to do them all the same color. I'm going to go with like a nice rich green. I want to try that. So this is like a olive green. But if I don't like it, you can take it off. olive. I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick with this olive green, and you could try blue. There's so many lovely blues in the world to choose. Red could like sort of match his, Winnie the Pooh vibe, red and yellow. Okay, so there's my green, sort of olive green. I'm gonna dry off my brush, get rid of the wetness, and again, soak up a tiny bit of the paint on the left side, because that's maybe where the sun is hitting the pot. So it's a little lighter on the left side. So I'm just going to soak up, dab, 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 soak up some of the paint. It's like a little highlight. Okay, this part, that's still pretty wet. I'm going to skip that one because it's still pretty wet where I have the honey sign. So this is like the kind of area where maybe that smaller paintbrush, getting right in here. But this one has such a nice little pointy tip that just kind of stick with a brush, and it's my ride or die. There we go. So got my a little bit darker, kind of here by his butt. A little lighter, say by the rim. Is this dry? Still a little damp. I could do some lighter greens in the stems and leaves. So I've got sort of a grass green or a yellow green, something lighter. Got a couple sap green, if you will, leaf green. These are all good greens. Could be emeralds. There's not a lot of plants that have like an emerald color, but if that's what you have, throw in a little green here and there. It could be different greens. Don't even worry about staying in the lines. Just make it up too. You can have some little dabs here and there of like leaves flinging off somehow. We're going so fast, leaves are just flying off. Even in between, if there's like a white gap, stick a leaf in there, just a little dab. There, looking it up close a little bit. Yeah, there's still some white gaps. That's okay. I think for fun, I'm going to do my last pot, just like a different color. Just for fun. That's cute. I think the green and the orange look well together. I do want to make your nose a tiny bit darker. It dried pretty light. So I just did a little tiny bit more. Cute. Yeah, anything that you think needs a little bit more color, you can always do a second layer. If you want to change up the color of anything, do a second layer, like maybe like the Pooh here. He's a little bit more yellowy here than he is there. I might throw a little extra yellow in my brown. And it just takes like a few seconds to go over Is that a more poo color? Maybe. Yeah, it's all right. All right. I will put in a little teeny tiny bit of red or pink in his tongue. Just the tiniest bit in there. That's good. And then the last step, the splashes. Those are my favorite part. Just go wild with the splashes. So I'm going to move this out of the way. Move away anything that you don't want absolutely covered in paint. I mean, move your phone out of the way. If you get some on the table, it does wipe off. So use the colors that we already have here. So, I mean, my particular painting, there's no blue in it. So I'm not going to splash blue in this painting today. Use the colors that are already here. I'm going to start with that Winnie the Pooh color. So sometimes I like to tap my painty brush. So it's got lots of nice watery paint. Tap it on my finger and it'll give me nice little misty splashy drips. And it could land on him. It could land on his shirt. It could land on Piglet. Background, da-da-da. So it's just small little drippies. But if I want more energetic, bigger splashes, load that up with painty water. And then I'm going to hurl my brush at the paper and then stop short like I'm flicking a magic wand. And you're going to get bigger stuff. Reload. Yes, yes. So I'm sort of, kind of aiming my splashes sort of near where that color is. But you don't have to. You could go all over if you want. And some of these splashes, when we get other colors, they might, mix together. That's fine. And you be the judge of how much is the right amount. So maybe to some people, this is already too much. And I've ruined my painting. No, I love doing this. It's so much fun. So I'm going to do more. Okay. So that's like the Winnie the Pooh color. Let's get some pink. This is sort of like the body of Piglet, that color. So I'm sort of going near Piglet, sort of going to go near the flowers. Do some little tiny taps. Oh, yeah. Now, let's say you're splashing, you're dripping, you're having fun, but like a really big, awkward splash or drip lands in a spot that you didn't really want it. Just get, tissue, dab, dab, dab. So like if you accidentally made a big blob on his face or something, just dab it, lighten it, not a problem. Let's go with, I want to do orange. I want to do all the colors. Orange, dab, dab, dab. Orange. Yellow. But you could stick with just like, if you want to just do like 3 colors, that'd be fine. What about red? Yes. Which red? So here's like a little drip that I don't like. Absorb it. Perfect. Oh, brown. I've got brown down here. Might as well do some brown. I think I might be satisfied. Almost, a little bit. See that again? Do I want one right on his eye like that? Don't want to have pink eye. Lighten that. That looks better. Okay. I mean, to me, I think that's just the right amount. That might be too much for you. Tidy up around here a little bit. Don't want that to stain if left for too long. And then you have a choice. You could sign this with the paint or sign this with that pen you were using earlier. But certainly sign your artworks in the medium that you used to make it. It makes the most sense. If you were doing a wonderful pencil drawing, you wouldn't sign that in a pen, right? So I'm going to sign kind of down here. Mostly I like to sort of hide my initials kind of right close to the drawing, so it's not like super duper obvious. You can have like your signature down here, maybe the year. I mentioned earlier this could be a gift for a mother figure in your life. You could write, you know, Happy Mother's Day. Oh, anything. Make a miniature version, put it on a greeting card. It would look awesome. Frame it. You know, go to the thrift store, get a frame, pop it in there, boom, gift done. Do I want anything else? I'm thinking about green. I've been thinking about it for a couple minutes. Do I want green? But I think that's just perfect, just like that. Now, I would love to see your versions of this. So even like, look at this. My two, completely different. And I know that yours in your world is completely different from mine. And that's what I love to see. I don't want to see carbon copies of mine. I want to see your version. I want to see your kids' version. I want to see 3 generations painting together. That would be awesome to see. Anything. I want to see them all. Down in the description of the video, I have a link to our Facebook group, Watercolor Lovers Facebook group. Love for you to join that little watercolor community. We're very supportive of one another, all different skill levels, and you won't find a more positive, uplifting group of fellow watercolor artists, you know, just getting started. So yeah, down here in the link there. What else can I tell you? Keep an eye out on our website for upcoming free events like this one right here, and our paid events too. We often have sales. We just finished our 40% off sale. I hope you guys were able to take advantage of that one. What else can I tell you? I'll have some more stuff posted for June. Yeah, summer's coming. We could paint lots of sea creatures and beach scenes, palm trees. If anyone has any questions for me, please type them in the chat right now before I wrap up this live stream. Or if you have a question you think of later, you can email us, message us. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and then you'll be notified when we do go live in the future. Any questions for me? Yeah, cute one. Such a cute one. All right, nothing yet, but that's probably just because I answered all your questions already. All right, well, I hope everyone has a lovely rest of your week. Enjoy the Mother's Day weekend. We're going to go to probably out to lunch and probably out to like a greenhouse, garden center, pick out something cute for the garden. I think that's the plan. All right. I don't see any questions. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much to those who did include a tip for me when they got their free ticket. I really appreciate that. Your support means a lot to me. All right, I'll let you guys go. Have a good evening. Happy painting. Bye now.